This is DateShip. Good evening, viewers. Today is 29th of June, the last Sunday in the month of June, the sixth month of the year, 2025. And I remain your humble self, Mishishi Becca. I welcome you to the day's episode. Today is episode 25. This is the 25th episode of DateShip. And today we will be breaking the silence, addressing and talking about sexual harassment in families, sexual harassment in homes. I'm going to wait for a few seconds to have more people join us live. I welcome everyone on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube Live, and on Facebook. How was your week and how are you ending the month? Thank you everyone for joining, and we are waiting for more people to join us live. Because today's topic, today's topic, it be as it gets. It be as it gets, and it gets as it be. Before we go on, let's talk about DateShip. So what is DateShip? DateShip is a live program for singles and married willing to share their experiences and both past and present. Thank you, Boniface. Thank you for the likes and thank you for the follow. So DateShip is a live program for singles and married willing to share their experiences on past and present relationships or situationships. It's also a program where we also matchmake people, and I can guarantee you that whoever you meet on DateShip is a genuine person. Okay, we usually have some people come live to talk about themselves or even participate in the topic of discussion. And some are single, some are married. When we state that they are single, whoever is interested in them can actually send a DM. More often times, they usually have private participation because there are a lot of people that are really, really shy in coming live. So they would rather come to us privately to say, oh, I'm single and searching, and they will tell us the criteria, what they want and what they can also, the value they can also add to a relationship. Hi, Gift. Okay. Noted. Thank you, Gift, for joining, and please make sure you try to stay till the end of the program. Okay, so on DateShip, we matchmake singles who are ready to mingle in a committed relationship. It is a safe platform where we do our due diligence before matchmaking anyone. Good evening, Gift. Thank you for joining. That's my cousin. Good evening. He's fine. Thank you also for joining. Okay, so today is actually, the topic of today is a very sensitive one. I'd had my topics. I have several topics, and I've had one that I'd already prepared for today's program. Then I received an anonymous message. I received an anonymous message whoever sent the message, I'm not sure, but I don't think the person is a teenager. I want to believe that he's an adult that probably the teenager confided in that sent the message to me. And it's so interesting. It's so interesting because I've also experienced sexual harassment before as a teenager from a family member. And I know that many, now it's not just girls that go through sexual harassment. Even teenage boys also go through sexual harassment. Honestly, today, I don't know how today's topic is going to go, but we're just going to leave it open. However it goes, we take. Because sexual harassment is actually in families. We are not even talking about at place of work or in the community. We are talking about sexual harassment within a family setting. A place that is supposed to be a safe place. But at the end of the day, it's not even safe anymore. So, a teenager reached out. I don't know if she reached out herself. But the problem is, she's 16 years old and her cousin is 24 years old. Her cousin caught her trying to steal her father's money. Her cousin caught her trying to steal her father's money, and he started blackmailing her that if she does not sleep with him, he will report her to their father. This young lady or young girl, this teenage girl, wants to know what she should do. What should she do? Hi, Faiza. Thanks for joining. So, this brings us to the topic of sexual harassment within a family setting. Thank you, Reality. Oh, thank you for the likes. Thank you. Okay, so anyone is free to join us live. If you want to be part of the discussion, you can send in a request and join us live to contribute. You can also just send in your messages and I will read them out. And we will all talk and discuss, have a conversation around the topic. Hi, Esther. So first, maybe I should throw this question out there. I know when it comes to sexual harassment, it's not what people openly admit to or what they openly talk about. Especially in our own community, in our own society, in that African society, sexual harassment is not what people openly talk about. It's just like rape. They are both on the same level. Sexual harassment and rape. Àwọn méjèèjì ọjọ́ wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ara wọn ni. Kò sí yàtọ̀ nù wọn. One is penetration, the other forceful penetration, the other one is harassment. You keep talking about it, you keep embarrassing the other party. So, my question to our viewers is, have you ever been sexually harassed? Now, like I said before, it's not just women that are harassed, even men are harassed, especially teenagers. And today's topic is actually, we might not finish today because it goes deep. There are many questions I have. There are many questions. Okay. Let's read from our viewers. Ola Femstar. Hi Gift. Hi Faiza. Hmm. Femsa says, tell her father and report her cousin to him at same time ASAP with an angry face. So Femsa says that she should report herself to her father and also report her cousin to her father also. Thank you, Femsta. Any other suggestion on what this girl should do? Hi, Rolex. Hi, Rolex for tea. Thanks for joining. Makinde, hello. Esther, Questa, Rolex, Falau, 20s, everyone. Thank you for joining. So Femsa says sexual harassment in the African community is accepted, is sickening. What is wrong is wrong. What is wrong is wrong. Thank you, Femsa, for your contribution. Esther on TikTok says, oh yes, from elderly relatives, strangers, colleagues, bosses. Oh, Esther is also admitting that she has been sexually harassed before from elderly relatives, from strangers. At least we understand strangers. A Ewoniti family, from colleagues, from bosses, of course. Mahamadu, hi, Paddy staff. Michael, hello everyone. But another question is, but why do you think it's so convenient for family members to harass another family member, another member in the family? Why do you think it's so convenient for them? Hello, Kemi Ololade. Hello, Cool Man. Hi, Joy. Yes, but why do you think it's so convenient for family members to sexually harass the younger family member? Yikomi, I told you to leave this place. And I told you that the topic I have today is not for your ears. Thank you. He took off his ear, his second ears. Okay, okay, same thing. So I was actually asking ChatGPT for the definition of sexual harassment in families. And the definition ChatGPT gave me matches. In fact, I have examples for every definition that ChatGPT gave me as my own personal experience. Okay, cause they are perverts and they prey on the innocence. Yes, they are perverts and they prey on innocence. Many of them don't have this courage. It's not just that, but it's part of it that many of them don't have this courage to chase a woman of their status and caliber. So they would rather go for the young and innocent ones and take advantage of them. Esther says, because they are the closest, they know our weaknesses and fear of being rude to the elderly. Thank you, Esther. So they tend to take advantage of the younger one. I need my eyes to be just in one place. Hi, Black Diamond Angelic Eyes. Okay, thank you, Lajos Rado. Thank you for the compliment. Hi, Gabi. Okay, let's go into the definition. And as I give the definition, I'll also share one or two experiences on that. Um, Sexual harassment in families can take many forms, including but not limited to verbal harassment, sexual comments, jokes, or innuendos about a family member's body. Hi, Magicto. Unwanted sexual questions such as about dating, virginity, or sexual experiences. Pressure to engage in sexual conversations. And, talks like this are really uncomfortable, especially when you're talking to a teenager. Especially when you're talking to a teenager. Now, non physical but inappropriate behavior, staring or leering in a sexual manner, sharing explicit content, pornography, sexual images without consent, sending unwanted sexual messages, even as jokes. And though I used to think that this is my cousin from my father's side, I used to think that he didn't do anything wrong. But after reading this definition, this non physical but inappropriate behavior, now I realize that what he actually did when I was young is actually a sexual harassment. So, in my house, we used to accommodate our cousins, both from my father's side and from my mother's side. So there are always one. In fact, is as I'm grown that I realize that they are actually not my aunties but my cousins. You understand? So we used to see them as auntie this, brother that, uncle this, uncle that. But they're actually my cousins. They're actually our cousins. So one in the middle of the night, my mom just woke me up with one hot abara. Like she was angry with me. Me that was just sleeping my sleep jejely in the living room. And she hits me with one very wicked abara. I'm sure that abara was meant for that my cousin, not me. But because that my cousin is her baba oko, she couldn't have hit my cousin. So it was me that received the abara. And what happened? You know, watching TV, slept in the living room, didn't wake up to, or nobody woke me up to go to the to go into the room. And I think this my cousin was honey. So he stood there over me. Me, I don't sleep go. This was what my mother told me. Not even the next day. Oh, it was later on, years later. So apparently my cousin was honey and he was holding his nkomo, scratching it, and he was staring at me. He was standing. I was on the floor. I slept on the floor. And my mom woke because she usually she does that. She will wake up in the middle of the night, go around all the rooms to check all of us, and then go back to sleep. So I think it was during one of those midnight rounds that she caught that my cousin, doing that while I was asleep, and I was the one that suffered the that suffered it because èmi kọ́ ni mo ní kó dúró sórí mi, but èmi ni mo jìyà anyways. So reading this definition, I realized, okay, that was an harassment. Let's move on. Physical harassment. Physical harassment, unwanted touching, hugging, kissing, groping, disguised as affection, forced exposure to nudity or sexual. Hi. Okay, no, I cannot accept you guys right now. Except you want to participate in this conversation. Okay. Physical harassment, forced exposure to nudity or sexual acts, coercion into sexual activity, even if not full assault. What do I have to say about this definition? Now, growing up in an estate, growing up in, I grew up in an estate, and in that estate, there are lots of daddies, uncle dads that I don't even know that would come around to fix this, to paint the house, to fix, to come and do electrical work, to come and do plumbing job, and these uncles. And in the estate I grew up in, everyone is related to everyone because we all came from the same community in Kwara State. So everyone is related to everyone. So there's this uncle, that uncle, this, and they all work together also. I remember I was about 5 or 6 years old. I was 5 or 6 years old. And this uncle, I can't even remember who that uncle, if I see him tomorrow, I don't know him anymore. And this so-called uncle was playing with me. I wore a dress. And this uncle was playing with me, and I sat on his knees, on his laps. And the uncle was swinging me to the left and to the right. Jangilova, Jangilova, Epo Moto. And he was swinging me, I was enjoying the play. Until when I started feeling his knee, his orokun, his knee, entering my bum bum, while he was swinging me to the left and right. And at the point I noticed that the play was turning into something else. Now he started enjoying it. And then I became uncomfortable. And what did I do? I jumped up and I ran away from him. I just left him. No talk, nothing. I just felt something was wrong. I was 5 or 6 years old. Whatever was wrong, I couldn't even pinpoint. But thinking back now, I remember this many years ago, but thinking back, I also realized that was sexual harassment. That uncle actually sexually harassed me, harassed a 5, 6 years old girl. Now, there was nobody to report to. At the end of the day, there is you, the baby, they will still blame. Uncle, no. And even if they ask me, what's the name of the uncle? Honestly speaking, I don't even know the name of the uncle. I just know that the uncle regularly comes to the estate to do one Tamiji job. That was another one. Let me read messages. I think everyone is enjoying listening to me. Okay. Now, let's go to the psychological and power-based harassment. Using authority, parent, elder, sibling, uncle to demand sexual favors. Threatening consequences if the victim speaks up. Gaslighting, you're overreacting, it's just family love, blah, blah, blah. And I think this is the category. Thanks, Olu James, for joining. I think this is the category of our anonymous message. The cousin is actually threatening her. The uncle is threatening her. If you don't do this, if you don't have this with me, I will tell daddy that you were trying to steal his money. James, do you want to come live? Olu James, do you want to join us live? Okay, so why is familiar sexual harassment often not reported? Why is it often not reported? Now, first, let me share my experience with you. All those ones were just side dish. Let me give you the main menu. Okay, please just hold on for a few minutes, okay? I'll bring you on. I want to quickly finish my story, then I'll bring you on board. Thank you for your patience. So I've given you the side dishes. Now let me give you the main menu. When I was 9 years old, now this, when I was 9 years old, we lived in a two, at that time we lived in a two-bedroom flat. One was my dad's room, one was my mom's room. But with the children, we were sharing my mom's room while my mom was always in my dad's room. Now, don't forget from what I told you earlier that we always have cousins that come to live with us. Whether I think at that time when we were living in that two-bedroom flat, it was just my mom's nephews and nieces that used to come around. Not even nephews, one particular nephew that used to come around. But then she has her sisters, her brothers also that would come and visit and go. I remember one evening, I was 9 years old, I can never forget. I remember one night, everybody was in the living room. You know how we do in those days. Everybody, after dinner, we all eat dinner together in the living room. We watch TV. Then 9 o'clock, or 9:10, everyone goes to their rooms to sleep. Those people that don't have a room to sleep, they sleep in the living room. So this cousin of mine called me into the bedroom, into my mom's room, and showed me his penis. Showed me his dick. That I should please. That was the first time I'm seeing this thing. 9 years old. That was my first time of seeing it. Of seeing an adult. Because I have younger brothers. I have 2 younger brothers. He showed me and said, "Madam, now wow, you don't forget me, oh. Archie 70. Hi, Archie. No, I don't forget you." All right, so he showed me and said I should allow him to put it in and bring it out. I'm like, put what in and put what out? He said, please, I should just allow him dip it in and dip it out. I said, no, I can't do such. He said, just the head. Meaning the head be bow. I'm like, no, I can't remember of every other thing that ensued, but I know I said no and I ran out of the room. He came out again to see me, to call me. I went to the room again. The same thing. I said no. I left. And then I pretended I did not see him. So I did not go back to the room. I didn't go back to him. Now, many, many years later, he did something else again. This was the first time. I was 9 years old. And I didn't report to anybody. And I just let it go, and that was it. And it never offered such unpleasant requests. It never threw such unpleasant requests at me anymore since that time. Until I turned maybe 20 years old. Because I remember I just came back from school. I was in Kwara State Polytechnic then. So I think I was around 20 years old. 20 or 21. No, not 21. 1920. I just came back from school. And my dad and mom traveled. The 2 of them went to my dad's hometown in Kwara State for Christmas at that time. So usually when they travel like that, they make us comfortable. There are 5 of us and they make us comfortable. So whatever they would do when they were at home with us, they did it even when they were away. They would give my elder sister money, everything. We were actually comfortable. We didn't need any adult. I was 20 years old, my elder sister 22, my younger sister 19, and we have 2 other younger brothers. So we were old enough to take care of ourselves. And my father, my parents, they made us comfortable. They would give us money, the house was full of food, drinks, and all that, So we even never missed them. We never missed them. And one day, my cousin was just, passing by. He saw me on the street. He had lived with us before, and he was already old enough to be on his own. but he also didn't, he lived in our neighborhood. So he saw me on the streets and asked about mom and dad, and I told him they traveled for Christmas. And he asked who was in the house with us. I said nobody was in the house. We were in the house alone. And in the evening, he came to the house. Of course, he's my cousin, and he had lived in that house with us before. So who am I to question why he came? So he came and he spent the night. Shefegbo. I didn't know my cousin had plans, oh. And this my cousin, in the middle of the night, crawled, because I don't know why me too, I'm always sleeping in the living room. It's not that we don't have a bedroom. He just crawled up to me in the middle of the night and pulled up my dress. And that was when I woke up. And I woke up. Either I woke up, I shifted. I can't even remember. Or either I woke up, I stood up. I was really angry. I was really angry. And don't forget, now I'm no more 9 years old. Now I'm no more 5 years old. I'm 20. I could speak up for myself. So in the morning when we woke up, I didn't say good morning to him. I was really mad at him. He didn't say anything. He just left. I can't even remember where my sisters were. I can't remember if they were all in the house. Probably they were in the bedroom, so they didn't know what happened. So they were in the bedroom, they didn't know what happened. So I was really angry, furious at him, like, when I was young. You're now trying it again with me at this age. So I was really upset. And then I struggled with myself. Should I report him? Should I not report him? Should I report him or not? And when my parents came, I sat my father and mother down and I reported him. Now, this question is, why is familiar sexual harassment often unreported? 1, normalization of inappropriate behavior. I think Femstar said that. No, it's normal. Like one idiot that either he sexually harassed a teenager in the UK, a 14-year-old in the UK, and he said it's normal. No, 17 years old. He sexually harassed a 17-year-old girl in the UK. And when he was questioned, when he was interrogated, he said it was normal in Nigeria. No, Oga, it's not normal. That is a bad behavior. That is not normal. How could you confidently say that you sexually harassed a 17-year-old girl and nothing happens? They give in. They probably gave in out of fear. Or they probably gave in out of poverty. Not because they wanted to give in. If they had the choice, they wouldn't give in to you. And anyway, good riddance to bad rubbish. You should be in jail by now for normalizing a bad behavior. So that's just how Uncle John is. He doesn't mean it. It's just, all these excuses for these people. Fear of breaking family bonds. Fear of breaking family bonds. Victims worry about causing family conflict or being disbelieved. Pressure to keep the peace and avoid scandal. In my own case, I hesitated because I thought they wouldn't believe me. I still told my parents. Now, the third reason is shame and guilt. Faizadeh says most girls are even shocked with what happened to say it out. Yes. Yeah, thank you, Faiza. It's true. We are even shocked, like, could this be true? And you don't even know how to put it together or put your words together to be able to even report in the first place. Victims may blame themselves. Yes, did I encourage it? Religious or cultural stigma around discussing sex. Especially in our own community, there are certain things that you couldn't just come to talk about. Thank you, Esther. There are certain things you cannot just come out to talk about. Lack of legal recourse. Many societies don't recognize non contact harassment as a serious crime. Police may dismiss it as a family matter. So, oftentimes, also, police will also tell you, it's a family matter, or you people should go and sort it out in your homes. Now, in my own case, I almost regretted reporting to my parents. Akin says you reported because of how you were raised. Social media has turned them to something else. I reported but at the end of the day, I almost regretted reporting. Why am I saying that? So, after I reported, my parents were furious. My dad was angry, was upset, and he called my cousin. I can't remember the means of communication. Maybe he sent somebody to his house then to call him to come. And remember he had done it when I was 9 years old, and I didn't report. So he didn't know that I was no more a 9-year-old girl. But in sense. So he didn't know that was what they were calling him for. He thought my parents were probably going to thank him. Thank you for keeping an eye on my kids while we were away. So he willingly and gladly came to the house, not having an idea of what he was being called upon for. At that time, when my father asked him, I think he denied it, and because I was not I was in the living room actually when they were questioning him. And my father, my father's hand that are very thick. He gave him grasp, but my father slapped him. I didn't feel sorry for him. At all. Anyways, my father gave him a warning never to come to his house again without his consent. And that was the last time, well, not last time, but last time in those years that he ever came to our house without being asked for or being summoned for. Now, why did I say I regret ever reporting? I now heard my parents talking about it. There was something I said. I told my parents that I wasn't sure if he penetrated. I said I wasn't sure because I was sleeping. Now, I heard my father telling my mom that how come I wouldn't know if someone penetrates me or not? Does that mean I'm no more a virgin? That didn't sit well on me. Like, how could my father be questioning? Yes, I wasn't a virgin at 20. But was that more important? Was my virginity more important than somebody harassing me sexually? Okay, someone said, yes, it came to my mind also. So what came to your mind? Yes, of course. Akin, it came to your mind. Please, what came to your mind? Can you please let us know what came to your mind? And let's read what... okay. So, Olu James says, pedophiles are more prevalent in Nigeria because the police authorities' powers to prosecute is often limited once bribe changes hands. In the US, That's an automatic 30 years jail time for violators. The legal age of consent in the US is 18 years and above. Yes, I believe, is it just in the US? The unfortunate thing in Nigeria is that they cannot, I don't think they can even write this in the law, because the people that are supposed to all actually have the interest of teenagers, of young girls, even young boys at heart, they are also guilty of the same crime. They are also guilty of the same crime. I cried, I wept for my country when they signed it as into law that it's okay for an 11-year-old girl to have sex as long as it's consensual. Please, what does an 11-year-old girl know? Eh? What does an 11 year I have an 11-year-old son. What does he know? He was asking me about he asked me about my topic for today, and I told him that my topic for today I cannot tell him. And he kept pestering me, "Mommy, why can't you tell me your topic, your today's topic?" And then he asked me, "Is it because he's 18 plus?" He made it easy for me. I said, "Yes, he's 18 plus." And then he gave up. And then later he came up again to say, "But I want to know." But I said, "But you can," because see, it was even difficult for me to even explain it to my 11-year-old son. But yet, our lawmakers, bunch of agbayas, they sat together to agree that it's okay for an 11-year-old girl to have sex as long as it's consensual. My own thought is that until these things happen to the higher ups, if it doesn't happen to their own family, to their children, they will not learn. Fazer says, even if you can't remember well, does it really matter? Thank you. Thank you. Even if he penetrated, that means, and for me to have reported, that means it's not consensual. That means I did not consent to it. What he is doing there in the middle of night, close to you? Good question. But you see, that is why many people don't report. Because at the end of the day, the complainant the victim becomes the accused. And a similar thing happened when you were younger. Although James said, what do you expect when one big Alhaji married an 11-year-old and the Nigerian legislators didn't think there is nothing wrong about it? Actually, they are all these Alhajis, the legislators, they are the ones saying, yes, it's okay. It's okay for 11-year-old child, as if that child was their own, as if they will allow it. It's because they know they wouldn't allow it. Their own kids are not in the position to do such. Their kids are not in the position to do such. I'm sick for you. Who is this? Mehmet Seçkin. Don't be sick for me, I'm a married woman. Don't be in love with me, I'm married. Okay, Mehmet? But thank you for appreciating me, though. Yes, James. Yes, Olu James. Hi, Don Kelvin. Okay, let's bring Olu James in. You just have 15 minutes to go. Gift, are you still around? Gift, if you are here, please let me know. Don Kelvin is also online now. So if you are here, let me know. So, guys, what is the solution to family sexual harassment? Now, this sexual harassment is cousin to cousin, older cousin to younger cousin. There are other sexual harassment that is father and daughter, stepfather and stepdaughter. It comes in different shapes and forms. Also, family sexual harassment, husband to house help. I'm not sure we can cover all this tonight, but these are things that blow my mind. How can a stepfather be attracted to his stepdaughter? Now, the oga patapata of them all is a father that is attracted to his own biological daughter. And yet, the women, they choose to send those girls out of the house to protect marriage. Okay. Olu James said that's why it's so rampant in Nigeria, with fathers sleeping with their daughters and their wife hides the evidence. Yes, this is this is just what I just spoke about. It's a shame for all of us. Excuse me. We need solution. Please suggest solutions. What are the solutions to these issues, to these problems? Faiza says it's a shame for all of us as human beings that we still have to discuss about 11 years old marriage. It's just a shame. You can say that a million times. Olu James said, are you aware that more than 60% of teenage pregnancy in Nigeria is committed by mothers' boyfriends and uncles? Aki says, it's indeed a shame that something like that is becoming rampant without a solution in Nigeria. But okay, so we can't keep talking about the problem without solutions. Please, what's the solution? The men need coaching. Even men of God are beginning to also sleep with teenagers in their church. Thomas has speak coaching. The men needs coaching. Okay, how? Which men? Is it the men that commit this crime or before they commit the crime, and how can they be coached? There was a story I saw on social media one time. A mother's new husband impregnated her daughter, and she chose to send her daughter out of the house. She forgave her husband, but sent her daughter out of the house. Who does that? Only Africans. Only Africans. Only Nigerians. You chose husband over your own child. Please, guys, please keep the solutions coming. Okay. Olu James said, write a law that protects children and attach a severe penalty code system of jail time that will discourage such violations of underage. Thank you. That's one idea. FEMSA says the solution is teach our children to speak up no matter who it is, and our young boys needs to be taught what is right or wrong on how to treat a girl. Needs to be taught how to respect women. Now, that would take me to the next question. Now, I'm a mother of a son. I have a son. Usually, I don't know, but I have been more concerned. Okay, let me just introduce this story, to break into this question, to introduce this question. So, a lady in the UK, she has two kids. A son and a daughter. And then she invited her nephew, 19 years old, to the UK. I think he was there to study or something, greener pastures. So her nephew and her cousins and her daughters, her kids, were living together, but her nephew is 19 years old. Now, her nephew had carnal knowledge of her daughter, and her daughter became pregnant. And this became a whole drama. And she sent the 19-year-old boy out of the house. That she didn't care. I think she was also going to even report him. She was also going to report him to the police, but her husband stopped her from reporting that this is a family member. If it was somebody different, it's understandable, but a family member from Nigeria, your sister's child at that we can't just send him away. And it has created a whole it has created confusion in the family. The lady is upset, the husband is trying to calm her down, but there is one problem. Their child is pregnant for her cousin. What do you think? How do you think they should handle that situation? Now, this brings me to my question. At what age do you think mothers, especially fathers, if you have male child, but me, I'm not afraid to do it as a mother. What is the right age to give our children sex education? Fazer said, first education starts in the family. If it starts in the smallest community, it affects the whole society. Thank you. Olu James said, sex education to children is foremost solution and should be taught to children by all agents of socialization: parents, schools, religious centers, government bodies, and the judiciary. Thank you very much. So I think the problem is not we parents, because it's not my generation. I think it's the generation before us now. They are shying away from facts. They are shying away from truth. It's like someone has reported this account. Okay, why? Akin, I can read your message. Violation detected. End life now to avoid a suspension. Maybe because of the words I'm using. Okay, I need to be careful of my words. I need to be careful of my words. Thank you, Akin, for bringing my attention to it. Yes, it's the words I'm using. You know, social media does not allow certain words to be used, so I need to actually be careful. All right. The problem now is I don't know how to be careful. I prefer to say it as it is. But it is an interesting program. Thank you very much. But yeah, TikTok has a problem with it. Good evening, Victor. 10 is a response, is a reasonable age. 10 is a reasonable age to start the conversation. Thank you. Yes, I agree with, even for me, I start the conversation when the opportunity arises. But you know, today I was now asking myself, is it appropriate for me to mention it to my son? Is it not? But I'm like, okay, let me hold on a while. Let me hold on. You know, it will ask some questions that will now make us to that will now, you know, make us get into that kind of convo. Hi, Aki.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. How are you? Thanks for joining.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I really enjoy the program.
Thank you.
Actually, when I was in Nigeria, I used to listen to a program like this on radio. A lady called Funke Adetuberu.
Okay.
She's a counselor. I think she always talk about something like this. But um, pertaining to what you have been discussing, um, in Nigeria, just like what I've said the other time, that the situation of Nigeria has gone beyond control. And if you see my comments, I keep mentioning it that I think poverty has rotten the system. If
Poverty.
you look at it, yes, poverty has rotten the system. If you look at the lady, the youngest, going out all in the name of I want to also I want to get money, even you feel ashamed that why you don't have parents.
Yes. Because
But yes, in most cases, those girls they are the one begging the innocent guys.
why are you calling men innocent? They are old enough to know right from wrong and they should flee.
Ma,
Why would you call
let,
men
let,
innocent?
let me quickly share an experience. When I was in Nigeria, I was a teacher.
Okay, I know where
Then
you are coming from.
in my class, I have ladies, mature ladies, because I teach in technical school.
Okay.